Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah and this is my little corner of YouTube where I like to share my crafty life. I'm a knitter, a weaver, I do a little bit of sewing, tiny bit of spinning and textile craft, and the history behind it is my biggest interest in life. So welcome. I actually meant to record this episode about a week and a half ago, but I have been sick for 1.5 weeks. I have been at work and everything, but I have been so, we say hes in Sweden, but my voice disappeared totally last week and I am still recovering from that. So I have my cup of tea because maybe I will have to stop this episode and cough a bit and fix my voice. But I am so happy to be here with you today. And yeah, let's dive into all the crafty bits I have been doing since the last time, because I haven't done that much that is like ready, but I have done many different things. And the background story to that is that about a month ago, right before I went to Stockholm and Sy Hantverksfestivalen, we got a weird and terrifying health related, what do you call it, like yeah, it was a turbulent week to say the least. My father went to the eye doctor, or what you call it, to get some new glasses because he thought he didn't see as well on his one of his eyes, and they couldn't find anything. And 2 days after that they found an almost 3 centimeters large tumor in his brain, and that is awful in so many ways I can't even describe. But I also work with my parents, and that meant stepping in and having a lot of things to do at work at the same time as I was worried and had to deal with the feelings about my father's health condition. So I totally lost all the willpower to knit at all. I was so tired when I got home from work. I went to bed like 8:30, slept to the morning, just did my work, and in between that I did small craft, but I didn't have the brain power to knit at all actually. But luckily we are now on the other side of this, and he got some really good care, and they removed the tumor in just a few days after I got back from Stockholm. And we found out 2 weeks ago, or 1 week ago, that it wasn't cancer. It was just a tumor that was pushing in his brain, so he couldn't see on his eye. And they have removed it, and he is now not at all back to normal because he's super tired. He has gone through brain surgery, but he is not in danger of his life. So we are so grateful, and I just wanna take a moment and appreciate Swedish healthcare and everyone that works there, the nurses, the doctors, everything. There is a lot to complain about how the healthcare is taken care of in Sweden, but the people behind it is amazing, and the people that work there. So yeah, we are just super happy and grateful and feeling so much blessed and yeah, gratitude to life. I get it all teared up when I'm thinking about it, because it could be so much worse, and I am just thinking about the families that get this kind of thing, and it's not turning out this good that it did this time. So that's a little bit of a backstory to why I have been kind of not on Instagram as much. I haven't produced any knitting in that sense, and yeah, but I really feel like I'm getting back to it. And I have gotten the spark to create again, and often when I get that spark, it's because I have a project or an outfit or something that I want to do that contains a lot of different small things that turns out that they will match together. So yeah, we have quite a lot of things to talk about. And I have put my finished objects since the last time in this basket. So as you see, it's not that much because it's quite a few weeks ago, but I'm super happy with the things that I have produced. So when I went to Stockholm a month ago now, I just had a tiny bit of knitting left on the sleeves, I think. Or was it the ribbing? Yeah, on the sweater that I knitted for Maria. And Maria is Hemma hos Maria on Instagram, and I helped her to knit a sweater in her beautiful yarn that she had spun up here in Sweden. I talked a lot about it in my last episode, so I won't go into it that much. But the sweater is now with Maria, and I saw the pictures from the photo shoot with her wearing it and felt like, yeah, that sweater belongs with her. That should live and be loved in her house. So I texted her and said that I would be honored and very happy if you would like to keep the sweater for yourself. And I had so much joy to knit it and to feel the yarn and everything. And if that sweater could be loved at your house, that would be amazing. So the sweater will stay at Maria with the sheep, and I will probably knit myself another obsidian sweater. It's a sweater by the Wool Barrow, she's called at Instagram. I think her name is Tanya Barley, if I can't mistaken. Yeah, I have to shake that up, but you can go to my Ravelry page. You can find me there as Mrs. Wallgren, and on Instagram I am Wallgren Makes. So I have said that, and yeah, you can find the pattern and what size I used and everything on my Instagram. So sorry, I have to take a sip of tea because my voice is quite limited right now. Yeah, so when I went to Stockholm 2 weeks ago, no, a month ago, I just had a couple of stitches left on that sweater, so I decided to cast something new on. And if you know me, you know that I wear skirts and dresses probably 99.9% of the time in my life. I rarely wear like pants or trousers. I just am not that comfortable in it, and in the winter I wear thicker leggings and tights and wool tights. So I decided to knit myself a pair of knee-height socks. So I looked around at Ravelry and I found a pattern that I really liked and saw that it was a pattern from the first 52 Weeks of Socks book. So I have that book. So I took it out and I made myself this pair, and I can't remember now what they are called, but I will write it somewhere or link it below. But this is a pattern by Isabel Kramer, and I casted them on. This is a pattern for a DK weight sock. So I have knitted mine in Mellanraggi from Järbo, and I have made some tweaks to the pattern as per usual. I knitted my leg quite a lot longer before I started the decreases for the foot, because I wanted mine to be like above the knee or straight at the knee. So yeah, I did this part a lot longer than before I started to decrease. And I have quite broad ankles, so I started with the biggest size for the cuff and for the color work and all the way down to here, And then I did the decreases because I have quite a small foot. So I decreased down to the smallest size. So for the foot part, I have the stitch count for the smallest size, and for the leg part, I have the stitch count for the biggest size. So yeah, this is my knee height socks, and now when I have showed it here in the podcast, I can start using them. And that is very suitable because we got some snow yesterday, so it's cold and wonderful, and I love winter. So this will be a great addition to my wardrobe this winter, to put out over some tights and into boots, and I will stay warm, cozy. So this is my second finished object, because the first one was the sweater for Maria. So that was it. But then when I got home from Stockholm, everything started with my father's operation and all the things I had to do at work. So my energy just disappeared, and I didn't feel like knitting at all for a couple of weeks. So I started doing other things. And as I showed you last time, I got myself a supported spindle, and I have loved to spin on that little spindle. So first I made this little skein of Corriedale. This was just a tiny bit of wool I had left from before, that I spun up just to practice. So it's a bit uneven and not that perfect, but I love it, and maybe I can use it for some color work or something, but I am super happy with the first little skein I made on my supported spindle. So when I was finished with that one, I started spinning on the fiber I got in Stockholm. So I got some Shetland fiber from, her name is Maria. What is her name on Instagram? Yeah, I have to put it here somewhere. So I have spun up 50 grams of that gray Shetland wool, and this is so bouncy and so incredibly soft. And this one I have actually plied on this supported spindle too, because I didn't think you could do that. This one I plied on my drop spindle because that is quite a bit bigger, and yeah, I just thought that was the only way I could do it. But then I watched a YouTube video, and you actually can ply on the supported spindle. You just have to twist it the other way, because you have to spin the yarn the other way when you ply it. And I thought that would be difficult to manage because you have a certain rhythm with spinning it, but it was actually quite easy, and the result became so fluffy and beautiful. And I just love this color, I love the yarn, I love the fiber, and it's so bouncy. So this is 50 grams, and it looks huge, but it's so fluffy and airy. So yeah, I really love it. So I spun 50 grams of the 100 grams I had, and then I started spinning on the other color I got just because I wanted to vary the colors to keep an interest. And when I have spun that up, I will continue with this gray color. But 2 little skeins on my supported spindle is ready. So I did some spinning when I didn't want to knit, and I started to embroider. I know I talked about this in my last episode, that I was feeling the need for a lösluma by Lina Odell. And this is the fabric I had left from my Bilbo vest. So this is a home woven felted wool fabric that I had embroidered with my initials and a little bit of an embroidery from inspired by Lina's book Embroidered Mittens, or broderade vantar, which is a classic Swedish folklore thing, and I have lined it with the same fabric as I lined my skirt. So this is a linen fabric that I had from an old skirt that was dirty, that I couldn't get the stains out of. I have bound it with some black cotton binding, and the back is actually black leather. At my work we have a ton of small scraps of black, a very dark brown, and a deep like mahogany red. We have a ton of scraps at my work from that, so I have kept all the pieces that I thought could be anything to be able to make this kind of stuff, and I'm really happy about it. It's a Swedish leather from Tärnsjö Garveri, so it's very beautiful and very high quality leather, so it's amazing to work with. And yeah, so here is my lös luma, and I looked at some hooks and stuff to put here to be able to hang it, but I really couldn't find any that was so tiny or like minimal as I wanted. A lot of them was kind of big and very like a jewelry, and I just wanted something super simple, so I made this little pocket here to be able to put a band through it and tie it on my waist instead, so I could have it like this, oh. like this on my hip, and put some little things in it. So yeah, I'm super happy with it, and when I had done this I wanted that band to be able to tie, so I dug out my little what do you call these, yeah, my tiny little band weave, I don't know, yeah, band weaving thing, and I wove this band, and I got the inspiration for this pattern and the band in a book from Kerstin Neymüller that is called Simple Weave. It's an amazing and very inspiring book, so I wove this band in some wool thread, and the warp kept snapping for me because you have to tie this really tight, so it didn't get that long. I can tie it around my waist, but the ties are like a bit like this so it's not that long that I would want it to be, but it works. So I will just try to tie this on my lös luma and have it as a belt in my waist to be able to wear it, and I really like it, and I think it could be very useful when I am warping my loom or doing anything, to keep some tiny bits and pieces here. And yeah, I'm super happy. So yeah, my lös luma is finished together with the band for it. So you see that I kept myself very busy and occupied in my mind with crafts, even though I didn't feel the need or the energy to knit. And about 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago, when we got the great, how do you say, the message that my father's condition was okay and he wasn't in danger, it was like everything came back to me. I just felt like I wanted to knit everything, and I wanted to create, and I felt so much inspiration. So I looked into my little notebook, and about a year ago I thought about making this project that I called Project History Bounding, where I was thinking about knitting a colorwork sweater and sewing myself a vest of my home woven fabric, and that is the fabric that I later on made my Bilbo vest in. And I casted on this monogram sweater that I have thought about, and I sketched up some diagrams from a sweater that I saw on Digital Museum here in Sweden, and I made some different monograms to be able to put on the chest of my sweater. And yeah, I just knitted and knitted, and I never felt like the sweater became what I wanted it to. So I ripped it out and just didn't feel like knitting at it at all, and didn't get back to it because the spring came, and yeah, I didn't have that spark anymore for it. So I put it aside, and then this autumn I made my Bilbo vest, and I have loved that vest so much, and I use it almost every day at work. And I just felt like, yeah, maybe that pattern wasn't supposed to be a sweater. Maybe it should be a stickärmaliv that I was inspired by in the first place. So I started to dig around for inspiration, and I started to draw up a pattern in Stitch Fiddle from the notes I had from my last sweater with the monogram and the pattern for the sleeves, and I was hooked. I just couldn't stop. Stitch Fiddle is amazing, and it's so much fun to be able to draw your own pattern. And I cast it on, and I knitted myself a pair of sleeves for my stickärmaliv. And if you don't know what a stickärmaliv is, it's a combined sweater with a body in fabric or like felted wool. Oh, let's see. So I have this pattern from Lina Odell. So this is a stickärmaliv. So this is a felted body, and you have the knitted sleeves. And I haven't followed the patterns for the sleeves from this, and I don't know if I will follow the patterns for the body either, because I have some other inspirations from that I will get to later. But I have knitted my sleeves. So I made my first letter here, so this is an S, and I have knitted myself a sleeve and a sleeve cap, and the shape of the sleeve is from a sewing pattern. So this is quite a lot higher and a little bit more shaped than the pattern for the stickärmaliv. And yeah, I'm super happy with the fit of this, and I have actually made a mock-up to make sure that this sleeve fits into the sleeve head that I was thinking for the bodies. So I have made my 2 sleeves, but this one is not sticked yet because I wanted to show you how I made this shaping. So I knitted a sleeve just as you would do a normal sleeve from the bottom up. You start here and knit and increase slowly, and when I got to here, I casted off a few stitches under the arm here. I knit around, and then I cast on 5 steek stitches. So you can keep on knitting and knitting straight and starting to decrease here as long as possible before you have to go and bind off. So I bound off like 4, 4, 4, and then the rest of the stitches that was left. So this little part I have knitted back and forth in color work, but all the other way is knitted in the round up to here. So this tiny little bit is only the bit you have to knit back and forth in color work. I have no problem with it. I think it works fine, but it's always easier to get an even tension to to knit as long as possible in the round. So yeah, I have my 2 sleeves, and I have warped my loom, so I might pop in a picture here somewhere with the cone I showed in my last episode, I think, from Ullcentrum. So I have started the weaving, and I really hope that it will be good. And that I will be able to felt it and make the bodice that I want for the sweater. So yeah, oh my god, I feel so unfocused today. Like, I have talked about both finished and ongoing projects now, but I haven't, have I? Because this is all finished objects. So these are finished but ongoing, because I need to make the body for it. So the ongoing part is the weaving. But yeah, that is all my finished objects for this time. Oh my god, I feel like a mess today, but you have to bear with me for it today. So yeah, ongoing projects. I have my Hylje dress. That is a long-term project, and I have knitted as long as I can with the yarn I have, and it's not as long as I want it. I thought I had 1 skein left to be able to knit it longer, but when I dug that skein out, it's lighter than the other colors, so it's not at all as black in color. So I don't know if that yarn maybe isn't the Ullcentrum yarn. Maybe that is Campes that I have knitted it in, because I had all these cakes skeined up and I was so sure that it was Ullcentrum because I bought 5 skeins of Ullcentrum 2-ply yarn at the Sy- Festival a couple of years ago. So I really thought it was that, but maybe it's the black or like androseed color from Campes that I bought to weave a blanket last year, and I had so much left. Yeah, either way, it's too short for me to wear, so I would feel comfortable in it. So if it's not Ullcentrum, maybe it's Campes. So I have ordered 1 skein of Campes in the anthracite color. So if it is kind of similar to that, I could like alternate the little bit I have left and the new skein to make them blend together, but the Ullcentrum is too much of a difference. I can't do it with that one. So I am waiting for that yarn to arrive and for me to see if it matches at all. That is the problem when you cake something up and just keep it in the cabinet and don't keep the little tags. But yeah, maybe it's Campes or it's Ullcentrum. I have no idea, but I will see when the yarn comes home. So that is an ongoing but languishing whip. And the other thing I have on my knitting needles is something that I have knitted before and felt the need for another one. And I knitted this sweater not that long ago. This is the Adenia yoke by Ella Gordon, and it's knit in Shetland yarn, and it's light and beautiful, and I have worn this so much this autumn. This has been the perfect layering piece. I have worn this with knitted vest, I have worn it with my billable vest, I have worn it over dresses with skirts, and I have just loved it. It's so thin but still wool, so it keeps me very warm, and it's not bulky in the sleeves, so it fits great under even a fitted jacket. And yeah, I have just loved this sweater so much that I felt the need for another one, and a darker one, and maybe a slightly Christmassy one, because it's only 1 week away until we are in Advent. So I casted on a new Adenia. So this is knitted the way I knitted my adenia last time. I have casted on with a provisional cast on, knitted a couple of rounds to get the right tension. Then I have knitted this yoke according to pattern, and I am now on the ribbing on the top. So I have made my short rows and I am now on the ribbing, and will make my ribbing and cast off and have this little color of fabric. And when I have done that, I will pick up these stitches here, cut away this cotton fabric, this cotton yarn that I have casted it on with, and start to knit downwards again. So yeah, I love this type of thing, and since I already made one adenia, I know I like the fit, I know I love the way the body fits and everything, but I have one little thing that I want to tweak on my next one. And that is, here is the raglan from the yoke, and this fits quite far out, so I think it gets a little bit like bulky here. So I would like to move the raglan stitches a couple of stitches like into here, so a couple of centimeters on either side, into here and into here. And I think I will do that, and maybe if I do that I won't be doing the decreases for the body later, because I will have that raglan further in, and maybe a little bit more room in the sleeves, but then I can start decreasing the sleeve earlier than I did on this one. So I think that will be a good alternative to tweak this pattern to be better. For me, it's an amazing pattern, I love it, but for me it would be ideal if this raglan stitch was like here instead. So that's the change I will do to this adenia. But this adenia will be a darker one in a slightly more gray, cool beige color, and with a touch of red in the middle to have it a little bit, oh, I'm dropping my stitches, to have a little bit of Christmas feeling. So this is the yoke colors, so just a tiny bit of pop in the middle. Otherwise I have kept two very cool. This is the main color for the body. This is a darker brown but very like gray brown. This is a very gray beige, and then I have my red one. I have a white stripe, and then just the opposite on the other side. So this one will be in this color, and this is the same yarn that I am weaving the body for my stickarmalivin. So this is the cone I got from Ullcentrum. So it's Swedish wool, it's 2-ply, but this one is super thin. So I think this is about 400 meters on 100 grams. And I love this color, as you can see. Everything I make right now is either black or anthracite or gray, but that's okay. I love it. So this is my second adenia yoke, and I think this would be lovely to have a dark one in winter together with my beige, a slightly more warmer toned one. So yeah, a new adenia is on my knitting needles, and that is everything I'm knitting on. My Helge dress is slowly waiting to get his yarn, and my adenia is full on, very much inspiring right now. So I think I will finish the ribbing today and start picking up for the body. So I have tons and tons of stockinette stitch to knit, but I am so looking forward to this sweater for Christmas, so I don't mind. Yeah, adenia, classic Fair Isle, everything I love. So yeah, that's my ongoing knitting project. I have started to spin some other Shetland wool. So this is white Shetland from the same company as the gray one, and I have just started to spin some singles on this one, and yeah, it's super fun and relaxing. But right now all my focus is on this one, but this is just the perfect thing to pick up and do a little bit in between. I also had so much fun weaving the band for my lösluma, that I started another band that I will make a lot longer. So this is an ongoing project. So this is also a band from Kerstin Neymöller's book, but this is in cotton, and I will try to make this as long as possible to be able to keep it either to like wrap around a Christmas wreath or tie it in my waist or maybe in my hair or something, or just keep it to be able to cover some sticks in a cardigan or something. Yeah, I don't know, but it's super fun and relaxing, and I am really enjoying digging into all the crafts right now, and I have no hurry with any of them, so to have one little thing of each is my perfect cocktail right now. So yeah, I have my weaving for the fabric of my sticky Embroidered. I have one knitting project ongoing that is like ongoing, and that is my adenia. I am weaving a little band, and I am slowly spinning some yarn. So that's 4 things. It's perfect. It's really fun, and I love mixing all the crafts right now. Feels like I'm talking fast, but I have already spent like 37 minutes talking, so yeah, good work. Another thing that will be ongoing soon is that last week I went to the thrift store. I love looking through thrift stores, it's my favorite thing. And I looked for some Christmas ornaments and decorations, because I am a high believer that old Christmas decorations is always more beautiful than new ones. But then I stumbled across this. Last year I found an old Christmas tablecloth and made myself a Christmas dress. That one was very thick, and I still have it, but I don't wear it that much because it was quite a thick weave. So I wore it on Christmas last year, but I haven't worn it since. But this year I found this in the thrift store. And this is not a tablecloth, it's a piece of fabric. This is almost 5 meters, it is 4.7 meters of red cotton fabric. Just cut up and never used. So I have washed it, and I will be able to make maybe both a dress and a skirt out of this, because it's plenty and it's quite thin, so I think it would be a lovely dress. So I will make myself a new Christmas dress for this year, and yeah, I'm really happy. I think I paid like 120 Swedish crowns for almost 5 meters of cotton fabric. So that is amazing, and I think a skirt in this will be lovely with my new adenia that has this pop of red color. Can you tell I like matching? But yeah, I love that. That's my favorite thing, like building up an outfit in my head and create the things around it. So yeah, that would be my Christmas outfit this year. So it will be an ongoing project, but sewing for me is never a project that lays around and I take a little bit of time, because when I start to sew, I sew and I sew until it's done. So this is no hurry, I will do it sometime in December. But yeah, that's my only acquisition other than the things I got in Stockholm for Seo Hantverksfestivalen, which wasn't a lot actually, but yeah, I have a lot of yarn in my cabinet, so I don't need. So, ongoing thoughts, finished. Yeah, I think that was all. I have 2 things left today. First one is the one I used to start with, but that is what I'm wearing. This is a favorite piece of mine, and this is my Valkyria sweater by Anna Sjösvärd. I knitted this, I think it's 2 years ago she released the pattern. I think so. I knitted it straight when she released the patterns 2 years ago, and it's an oversized, really cropped cardigan with these lovely balloon sleeves, and I knitted this one in plöteloppi, 1 strand of plöteloppi and 1 strand of einband, and it's 2 years old and I love it so much, and I really want to make another one. So that is a plan of mine this winter, because I love this garment. It's perfect. And I'm wearing it with just a plain like linen skirt that has a lot of little fibers on it right now. But this is just a plain linen skirt that I made with an elastic waistband. So yeah, nothing, no pattern or anything, just 2 rectangles gathered into a waistband, and yeah, that's it. That's what I'm wearing. And yeah, I think that's all for today. This feels amazing to be able to have done this, and it feels amazing to have my energy back for knitting and crafting, and it's soon to be Advent, and it's a wonderful time of year. I hope to be able to pop in here more often during Advent. I won't do any Vlogmas, but maybe a couple of snippets of what I'm doing in Advent at home. And now I will take my ski outfit on and go out and play a little bit in the snow, because it's amazing weather and the snow is crystal white, and I just love it so much. So I hope to see you here in a couple of weeks, and until then, happy making.